Enchiladas are one of those Tex-Mex specialties that taste a little different everywhere you eat them. For those who don't know, enchiladas are lightly fried corn tortillas that can be filled with an endless variety of fillings before being rolled up and baked. Join me right here at the stovetop this morning and watch while I make my kid and tailgate tested New Mexico style ground beef enchiladas. Put down that can of store-bought enchilada sauce. There's absolutely no reason to buy it unless you don't know how easy it is to make at home. The word enchilada comes from the word enchilar, which means to add chili pepper to. And New Mexico style enchilada sauce is a red-based sauce made from chili powder. I've got a 1-quart stock pot on the stove today, and it's a 1-quart saucepan actually, and I'm going to put this over medium-high heat, and I've got 2 tablespoons of oil added to it. I'm using avocado oil today, but feel free to use anything neutral, canola, vegetable, sunflower, whatever you like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk in 2 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to start by making a roux. Starting to brown up around the sides, get nice and bubbly. It's going to get very thick and pasty. And the reason we're letting this go with a full minute is what we want to do is we want to cook the taste of flour, that bland taste of flour out of it. We don't want to taste flour in our enchilada sauce. Really frothy now. Okay, this is looking really, really good here. Get in around the sides of this. It'll start turning just a little bit light brownish, which is great. Okay, now I'm going to turn this down way low, way low. And I'm going to add my spices. And I've got here 5 tablespoons of chili powder. And to that there's cumin, there's garlic powder, onion powder, there's sugar, salt, and black pepper. And that's a lot of spices going in there. And now we're just going to stir this. And the only word I can use is this is going to look really funky. It's going to be in real big pieces and big blotches. But we want to get all of that flavor incorporated into the flour. And now I'm going to add to this real slowly, 2 cups of beef broth. Now I'm adding beef broth today because I'm making ground beef enchiladas. If I were making chicken enchiladas, I'd be adding chicken broth. If I were making seafood enchiladas, I'd be adding vegetable stock. And one last item, a tablespoon of white vinegar to give it its classic vinegary tang. Now this is going to come to a simmer and it's going to cook for about 10 minutes until it's thickened up. Okay, this has been on about 12 minutes. It's reduced a little. It's really nice and thick and smooth, and it's that rich brown, beautiful color that you want, not that bright red stuff in the can. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to pour this right in here. I should end up with about 1.5 cups. I'm going to set this to the side to cool, and it's time to make our beef filling. To make my ground beef filling, I'm starting with 3 pounds of lean 90-10 ground meat in a nice shallow saute pan. And I'm going to add my spices, cumin, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, the same basic things that I put in my enchilada sauce. And I'm going to add 12 ounces, that's about 2 onions, lots of onions, to my meat mixture. I'm going to put it over medium-high heat, and I'm going to cook this, stirring it pretty often, pretty frequently, until it's cooked through and there's almost no liquid left in the bottom of the pan, regulating the heat so the meat stays moist and juicy and doesn't brown. We want the meat nice and juicy and steamy. This is going to take me about 15 or 20 minutes. This has been about 20 minutes and it is cooked perfectly, steaming hot. It's hard to get a camera angle on that, but there's almost no liquid left in the bottom of that pan, just a little coating. And now what we do, because you don't want to cook these, I'm turning off the heat and I'm adding a full 16 ounces of New Mexico's green chilies. And we're going to stir this together, get these thoroughly incorporated. I'm going to put a lid on this, set it to the back of the stove, and we're going to fry our corn tortillas. I'm starting with an 8-inch skillet non-stick on my stovetop. I'm putting it over medium-high heat, and I'm going to fry my corn tortillas, but I'm going to lightly fry them. I don't want to brown them, but a corn tortilla as is, it'll crack if you turn it. You want to cook these just to make them soft and pliable so that they won't crack when you roll them up. And you want to do it to enhance their flavor. It's going to bring up the flavor of the corn in the tortillas. So I'm just going to put that in the skillet over medium-high heat, and I'm going to fry these on both sides, flipping them back a couple of times for about a minute to a minute and a half a piece. Now I've flipped this once or twice, and as you can see, it's starting to bubble up in random spots on both sides. That's exactly what we're looking for. The bubbles, the air bubbles. And keep flipping. You might flip it 3-4 times. That's exactly what you want. You're not looking to get this browned, but you can be able to smell the flavor of the corn. That's been about a minute. That's good. That's all we're looking for. Soft, pliable, aromatic. And I'm just going to repeat this with 11 more of them. I'm making 12 enchiladas today, and I'm just going to keep stacking them on a plate as I work. Well, I've set up my assembly line. And what I like to do is use 2 8-by-8-inch square pans instead of one 13-by-9-inch pan to make 12 enchiladas. The extra space that I get, 16 inches instead of 13, means that 6 enchiladas will fit in each pan perfectly and they'll bake up beautifully. They won't be squeezed together to oblivion. And I'm going to just pick up a corn tortilla and I'm going to place it on the plate and I'm going to paint it with enchilada sauce on both sides. And this is, your girls, you're going to get your fingertips all full of this red brown sauce. Now originally in Mexico, the corn tortillas are dipped in the sauce, so it really soaks up a ton of the sauce. But my homemade sauce is so flavorful that I'm just giving it a nice light coating. And when enchiladas originated, they were sold in Mexico as simply unfilled. They were just dipped in sauce, rolled, and sold on the streets. So we've got a nice painting of enchilada sauce on there. And now I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup of filling, my real flavorful, I call it my beef, lots of onion and green chili enchilada filling, across the center of the enchilada, just like that. And I'm going to top it with about 2 tablespoons of, I'm using habanero cheddar to make them nice and spicy. Just pick up 2 sides, pull them together over the top. I'm going to grab it by the corners and I'm going to put it seam side down in this pan. And I'm just going to keep wrapping and rolling till all 12 of them are sitting side by side in both pans. I filled and rolled all 12 of my enchiladas and washed my hands too. I drizzled 1/2 cup of my enchilada sauce over the top of each pan, and I put 1 cup of grated habanero cheese over the top. I'm popping these in a 350-degree oven for 18 to 20 minutes, just until the filling's heated through and the cheese is all melted and bubbly, and then it's time to eat. Everybody has a favorite sauce or filling for their enchiladas. Some like it spicy, some like it mild. Some like ground beef, others like pork. Still others like chicken. That said, while you might prefer flour tortillas in a whole host of other Mexican dishes, if you're not making enchiladas with corn tortillas, you're not making enchiladas. And that's the whole enchilada. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.